This is our interview with Vermilion Whiskey with Jason and TJ. We had a great chat with these guys. Love their soaked in blues, groove, riff music. Amazing. Got to get these guys out of Louisiana eventually. Like I said, had to get the shirt. You can get yours on their band page. But in the meantime, let's find out a little bit more about Vermilion Whiskey.
You can have the shirt. The tits are mine. All right. Okay, we are recording. Right.
Well, so we have really been enjoying Crimson and Stone.
Yes, we have.
Awesome.
To the point, yes, I've also been stalking you, and yes, I bought a shirt. So
Good.
I'm excited.
I
Maybe
heard
time
you
the
bought
show
the
comes-
last. I heard you bought the last of one of our shirts there, so I really appreciate.
That's a cool design.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had to have it. So hope maybe by the time we actually do the show, I'll have it. That'd be awesome.
That would be great to show that off. Yeah.
It's probably going to be a little bit because we had a bunch of interviews in the hopper because my son just got married, and it was like I knew it was going to get like crazy. So
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, what is Vermilion whiskey? Like, where did that name come from? I know I've enjoyed quite a bit of whiskey in my day, but the word Vermilion is new to me.
So Vermilion is French for the color red. And here in South Louisiana, where we're located in Lafayette, we have a river called the Vermilion River, and you'll see a lot of things associated to this area with the name Vermilion in it. So we figured what better way to represent where we're from, and at the same time have a whiskey attitude about it, you know. And but that's where it comes from, the Vermilion River.
There's a Black Star Riders lyric that says, "The whiskey comes in and the devil comes out." I always love it. That's a great one. I think Scott Gorham wrote that, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't find any Vermilion whiskey. I had to go with the Vermilion wine. So
it's very Vermilion. Yeah, very Vermilion.
We have a very limited. There's 3 bottles that are out there. The first one went to Mr. Tommy Buckley, who recorded the drums with us on this album, who's also plays with Crowbar. I used to play with Soylent Green.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So he did, after we got done and wrapped, we presented to him the very first bottle of Vermilion whiskey.
Oh, cool.
And at the listening session, we did brought out the second bottle of Vermilion whiskey to give to OCD Studios. Mr. Dwayne Semino, he recorded Crowbar as well, so we figured, we'd already lined up recording at the studios. Anyway, before we knew Tommy Buckley would be the guy doing the drums with us. But long story short, and I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, we captured the same sound in the studio with the same drummer that's been working together for a while, so it was a no-brainer. But long story short, he got bottle number 2, and then at the Get Down CD release party that we did a few months back to record our video for the Get Down, we gave away as one of the door prizes bottle number 3 of Vermilion whiskey to some lucky fan out there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So there's a few. We're not in the whiskey bootlegging business, but we're we have a few out there.
Speaking of Crowbar, it's funny that we interviewed Sammy from Goat Horn not that long ago, and I asked him a question. I was rattling off all these names. I'm like, I Hate God, and COC with Pepper and Down, and I said, what is it with New Orleans or Louisiana and these great bands? And he goes, "You're naming all the good bands. You haven't named any of the shitty ones. There's tons of shitty ones." It was like the best answer. He's like, "Consider yourself lucky. You haven't heard any of the shitty ones." Yeah.
Well, I think one of the cool things about musically here is that, like, I'm in my mid-40s now, and I remember growing up idolizing these bands from Louisiana that were king shit of fuck mountain for what they did. They still are today, and it's pretty cool. Like, anytime I talk to anybody around the world about music from here, You do get all the best names, the best bands at the top there, but they're I mean, they put in so much blood, sweat, and tears into their work way back then. They still are now. I mean, that's a testament as to just the type of, I don't want to say musicianship, but it's almost like a just like a family, because that's really how the music scene down here feels, is just like a
the
big
consistency,
family.
very consistent. Yeah, I like that about these bands like Soylent and Goat War, and yeah, it's very consistent. Yeah.
Well, you know, and I think you guys, like, I heard the album and I really loved it. And then I went on YouTube and I watched you guys performing, and I'm like, wow, that puts it over the top. You know, it's just, you guys put every bit of everything, every single person, their hair is flying, and it's just, it's an amazing thing to see, you know, and it just, that performance level just kind of takes it to the next peg. And I was like, wow, these guys are impressive. But your sound has been, you know, kind of like, I can definitely hear Southern rock, but there's a lot of other genres sprinkled in there. How would you describe your signature sound blend?
I'd say a rockin' whiskey fueled, sort of in the middle of a metal sort of genre, because there's a lot of chug, there's a lot of chunk, but we're not. We kind of almost have a bluesy sort of feel to
Yeah,
and I don't know if that's the southern thing, because we're not trying to make it sound a certain way. That's just kind of a representation of us musically, what we like to play, what we listen to, just
yeah.
in somewhere's in that vein between. I think that's also a good representation of where we're from, because Lafayette isn't big enough to where there's a good punk scene, a metal scene, a hardcore scene. You know, we're just a scene. So it's a nice mishmash melting pot of a lot of bluesy guitar licks, but still sludgy enough to have a metal-ish feel to it. But we're not we've definitely never said, oh, that's not this enough, or that's not that enough. It's always just kind of going for something that has a groove to it and a feel to it, and it just kind of something we at the end of the day enjoy playing. And the writing process is lots of time there's some thought put into riffs beforehand, but a lot of times we're writing stuff here in the studio together, you know, and jamming stuff out. So I think it's cool to hear you say that you really like watching the live show, because I feel like a lot of the energy comes from the songs themselves, you know, because this is the environment we wrote it in. We wrote it bouncing our heads around, you know, having a good time, you know.
Yeah,
And it's one of those things where I can't play a lot of the riffs unless I am like physically doing this sort of dance thing, you know, to try to
that's
slap,
great. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, stuff in the right way. So it just,
Yeah. What's the scene like in Lafayette? Because that's not close to New Orleans, really. I mean,
we're about 2 hours from New Orleans and
yeah.
4 hours from Houston. So we get a lot of the bands that are on an off day or just passing through to New Orleans or to Houston, or on their way to Muddy Roots, or Ripple Fest. You know, sometimes we'll get bands coming in and out, but it's a lot more on the metal side, I'd say, than any other sort of rock band, you know, sort of scene that's out there. I remember back in the '90s, you know, there wasn't a lot of metal happening around here, and now that's pretty much all the live music has turned into mostly metal,
Okay.
in some form or fashion, or some sort of loud music with usually citrus colored cabinets and amplifiers, you know. And
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's small enough to where there's only a handful of venues that have been doing the thing long enough, I think, to where the type of music was just kind of molded off of the types of venues that were available. And we just happened, like, through the pandemic and even before that, we just had, you know, a few metal bars open around town that were still letting people play shows and do that sort of thing. And we of course are very famous for Cajun music and for Zydeco. Oh, look, here comes
Oh,
TJ.
okay. Very good.
here.
Zydeco. I love Zydeco. I think that is fascinating.
It's
yeah.
It's something that you can't get. I don't want to say get away from, but it is definitely a big part of our sound too, because that's what we grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Hey, boy.
There we go.
So fuckers. Hi.
Hey, there he is.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Yay, great.
Hold on. This isn't right. This isn't right. Let me get rid of this. Get rid of the. Don't want to have to pay for. Yeah, right. I don't want to have to tape. Don't want to get y'all in trouble for Domino's logo.
Yeah, we can't. They've got more money than we do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Just a little.
They need to pay me some more of it.
I hear you.
How's it going?
Great.
Really
great.
good.
Yeah.
Sorry for being late. Apologize.
No, it's okay. It's we're just glad to have you at all. So.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we were just talking about how so many styles is incorporated in your sound and how great you are as a live just blew me away, and I hopefully I'll be able to get to see you live, but I mean just the stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
And especially when you did that mix up with Astrophy. That was such a cool mix. And I can almost hear a little grunge in that song too, but it's just so much going on. And how did you put all those clips together? Because it was a great representation.
You mean like video wise?
Yeah.
We usually have a lot of cameras going, or try to get some sort of documentation. If anything, just there's there's usually at least 2 to 3 cameras. As far as people shooting pro shot, whatever, and then we usually have a bunch of friends that have cell phones or their own cameras shooting B-roll. We've discovered that content is the way to go. I mean, everybody knows content's the way to go, and just shoot everything, film everything, and just have a lot of B-roll, and then we could just in post we could just take it all and put it together. Our guitar player Ross, man, he he gets on the computer and cracks out on it and puts it together, and he just has that vision, kind of share that vision for what we want. He'll give us a rough draft and say, hey, what y'all thinking, and this could be a little more busy here or there, and it just comes out good. It's definitely been a learning tool for us too. Like when we started working with Tommy in the studio, we had never played with him before, so it was literally show up. We had 6 practices with the guy. We practiced, 4 or 5 times in a year with him. We rehearsed the album, and then we were ready for the studio. So we've always kept a lot of video around just for the sake of referencing things, because we're not the type of band to where we get together every day and do stuff all the time. So cool side effect of that is when we do get enough content, usually we're also put up something we don't know about it. It's just, hey, look what I did. Right. And the first 2 albums, it was just like, it's a learning curve every time we do another album and we release something else. And it was that there was a bunch of people saying, just do more content, shoot more stuff, and just make sure you document everything. And that's kind of what we've been doing. It's been working out for us. We've got now this year with this new album, we've got more content than we've ever had before. And it's kind of paying off. It's showing. We've seen results from it. And Ross has always been the type of guy to give back to his scene by being the guy that goes out and records stuff with camera, then gives it to other bands too. So he records anytime we have a local show and he's able to go. He's there shooting. Or bands that he really wants to see and get footage of. And he doesn't charge them anything really. He just here's something to help you guys out.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of my favorite tracks, and I like how you explain at the beginning of that it's about this boredom and this need to create. Because I mean, we get that as well. But
and we were down and out. We had a hiatus, lineup changed. Some guys quit the band, and we didn't know what to do. It was down to me and Ross. Do we keep going? Do we shut it down? What do we want to do? And we took a chance. We took a gamble, and that we got that old feeling back again. And that's what that whole song is about.
That's great. Yeah, I really liked the song Dissonance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's our opus, man.
Yeah, can you tell me about some of the background and the themes in that song? Because I mean, the there's a lot going on there. Yeah.
There is. The best way I could explain it is it's open for listener interpretation.
Okay.
You apply it to however it makes you feel, and it honestly, admittedly, it's just a lot of different things that came out in a time where I was going through some shit, I mean, we all do. And the way it came out, it wasn't necessarily about the event specifically or events specifically. It just was an overall amalgamation of the way I felt and the whole. I tried to broaden it quite a bit and that's what came out, and different people have come to me and said different things about how they feel about it and how it applies to them in their situations and stuff. And I love that.
It pulls you in. It does. There's a lot of emotion to it. Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
And that was the thing. I had that little intro with the with that chorus pedal, and that's kind of what started it. Yeah. When that chorus and stuff came in, that verse came in, that riff kind of what started it. And it was a dissonant riff, and that's why I named it Dissonance. I wanted something big and open. I had Deftones vibes flowing through me all day.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, oh man, I want this to be big like Minerva,
Yeah.
They're in the desert with those lights and just and it kind of touches on it, but not too much. It's our own. I feel like it's our own thing.
Well, the vocals are just soaring in that song.
Thank you.
Unreal. Yeah. Reminded me a little bit of JB from Grand Magus, if you know who that is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the guitars, it was almost like it was reaching prog metal levels. Really was.
Yeah. Right.
Well, this is the third album, so how is it going in terms of is it getting easier? Is there just always different problems with every album? How is it album 3 versus album 1 in terms of ease?
Well, he wasn't here for the first two, but for me personally, it has gotten easier.
Okay.
It definitely helps to be working with people who are a little more professional, a little more like-minded. Obviously working with Tommy was great. He was professional through and through. And funny thing, him and I have a lot of the same ear. We were in the studio and we were hearing things. We were listening back to everything to see. We're comping the tracks to see imperfections where we want to, last ditch effort. We want to change this. If we got to go change this drum part, we got to do it now. And
right.
And he would look at me and I would look at him because it was like we both heard it, but nobody else heard it.
Wow.
And it's like, so you learn those different things about different people. Each album's a new experience. Each album is, a learning experience, and it does get easier for sure because you know a little bit more about what you're doing, and you tend to learn a little bit more about what you want too.
Right.
As far as the sound goes.
Yeah, on this one, I felt like the production was so crisp you could really hear every single layer.
The production was amazing. Yeah. The engineer, the producer on this album, Dwayne Simoneau, he's a fucking wizard. I've never seen anyone manipulate a DAW like I've seen this dude. I'd start to ask him for something, and he's like, "Don't worry, Daddy got you," and he's just and he just does it, and it's awesome. Like, oh, that's exactly what I meant. It was great.
And it's funny when he would act like he couldn't do something. He was like, I don't know. Let me click. All right, go.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me see if I can do it with my eyes closed. Chewing bubblegum over here, and it's just amazing. Working with professionals, working with people who share the vision and just get it. They just get it, and it's so much better. We're the most improved, best version of this band we're gonna be at this point.
That's great.
So I'm sure it was great working with Tommy, but then it looked like you guys were putting up advertisements for a drummer. How did you get to Wade Perkins?
We were deciding what we want to do for a drummer. We auditioned a bunch of different guys, just didn't work out. And in the process of auditioning all those guys, we basically finished writing the album. And then we really had a feel for what we wanted drum wise. And we said, man, we're ready to record this thing. What are we going to do? Let's ask Tommy if he wants to do it, So we did. And literally in that same process, I don't know if we jammed with him once or twice before, But Wade hit us up on Facebook just out of nowhere.
Oh,
And
wow.
we were actively looking, and he hit us up. He's like, "Hey man, he hit Ross up, and they ended up talking, I think he said for an hour or two over the phone just about music and stuff. And he's an older guy. He's been around for a long time. He's played everything from country to, I don't know if you know what swamp pop is and stuff like that. It's the local stuff. Cajun, Zydeco music, stuff like that. He's been around for a while and knows his stuff. He does what we call the taco circuit. He plays with these bands, and they do these Mexican restaurants and stuff, and different parties and stuff, and they just play cover tunes, and they make a good bit of money doing it. And it's just a bunch of older guys who just jam out, and he loves it. He keeps his chops up, and when he gets in here, he's just ready to go.
And he's definitely a musician.
He's a musician for sure.
Just so much more than just a guy, playing drums, because he'll just coming from so many different genres and playing all the different types of music, he brings so much to the table.
He has that ear too.
We were so used to like, okay, new drummer, we're gonna try it out. Let's hand feed you all this stuff, and hopefully, when we would play with from people,
he picked up on it
right away. And so since it all happened around the same time that we were working with Tommy, he actually came into the studio with us during the recording process, and I don't see how we would have done it without him being there.
He was there. He helped Tommy. Tommy helped him, and we all learned it. Like, he learned the music, the intricacies, the ins and outs, and he learned about Tommy's playing. He never heard Crowbar. You know what I'm saying? He didn't know really who Tommy was. We kind of showed him, but he didn't. And so it was a learning curve for him, and he loved it. He was a kid in a candy store the whole time, and they clicked like. And we're all brothers, man. Like, we're tight as a tick's ass now at this point.
Yeah.
Wonderful. It's awesome.
I have a Zydeco question. So I saw a guy playing Zydeco, and he had
on the video.
He had on like the Rob Zombie hat, and he looked just like Hendrix, and he set his accordion on fire. Is that unusual, or is that, and all the songs were about voodoo and stuff? Is that how all Zydeco?
I wouldn't say it's a voodoo thing. I haven't seen anybody set an accordion.
I think we need to go do that.
Yeah, man.
It's like an expensive
I think most people we know value their accordion too much to set it on fire.
This might have been like a Goodwill accordion or something. I don't know. But...
Yeah.
You don't see people cutting up that like that.
Yeah, that's showing out. That's straight peacocking right there.
Literally, yeah, it was. It was literally like it was Hendrix.
He was having a good time.
Yeah, it was Hendrix with an accordion. So, all right. So I did see something a little bit special then. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Consider yourself lucky to see that one. I never seen that. I saw Wayne Toops in handcuffs at the Karen Crow Fairgrounds. Man, that was crazy. They come locked him up.
Talk about that. What was that?
He was like, "I'm keep playing."
That's great.
I love the details that you guys have put in, like the little spoken word parts that sound like they're probably from an old movie. And I especially like to get to hear one end of a booty call for Good Love.
Hey, that's totally relevant. That song is about a point in time where I was hanging out with this young lady, and she'd show up early in the morning, and we do our thing. It was just and not everything describes her. It was just kind of like, so she didn't have long legs and pointed fingernails, all this crazy edges. It was just kind of like that woman aspect, it was sharp eyes and kind of came together.
I was surprised. We talked to Ronnie from Kicks, and I was convinced that Rosie, was a real person, but he's like, no, it was a conglomerate.
Yeah.
Was Beth even real?
Yeah, exactly. It's not even real.
I get a feeling yours is based on real events.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
Sort of tell. Yeah.
I mean, I've always liked to do that kind of tongue-in-cheek stuff too. Anyways, man, like that, innuendo kind of.
Oh yeah.
That's rock and roll, man. All day.
Very much, yeah.
Did the snippets come from some old movie? Because at first I was
I'm not exactly sure. Ross had found them, and I don't know where he got them from. I'm not sure what movie. I'd have to ask him. I know he has a bunch of different sites or something where you could find B-roll audio and video and stuff like that that you can use for free on different things. And I personally went through a bunch of different stuff and couldn't find anything I really liked. And when he showed me that, I was like, that's cool. Sounds cool.
Yeah,
kind of set the tone.
it shows a lot of good, you guys focus so much on intros and outros. Sometimes on the outros, it's that Melvin one note feedback drop, so.
Yeah, it's we pride ourselves on writing songs. It's a song's got to have a good solid backbone. The way you start it and the way you finish it is very important. There's a lot of bands out there they don't. There's all right, let's go, and they don't. There's no structure to it. At the same time, I hate whenever songs just verse chorus verse chorus. We got to mix that up too. You just I like writing songs. I like writing good songs, telling a story.
Yeah, there are some that will hit you over the head with the chorus so many times. You're like, ow, ow, all right.
Yes, exactly. But if it's good, repeat it a few times and then hang it up, hang it up to dry.
Yeah, agreed. So for the video for Confidence, loved it. I noticed you weren't playing guitar during it.
That's the one song on the album I don't play. I didn't play guitar on. So I don't play guitar live either. I just sing it. That song was actually written before we had our lineup change. It was pretty much finished. And before I only did vocals and bass, second guitar, and drummer had quit. And so in that lineup change, I picked up the guitar and said, well, I'll pick up the guitar. Let's do it. I'll step up to the plate. And because I helped write some of the riffs for the second album, but I never played guitar on any of it.
Yeah.
I started on guitar and fell into doing vocals, and I kind of wanted to, pick it back up and get my chops back up and shine as a guitar player a little bit more too,
Yeah.
And just whatever I needed to do to help out the band, obviously.
It was nice to see your vocal delivery in that one, because so many other ones, all you see is hair flying, which is a good thing. Believe me, I'm
Right.
into that. But sometimes I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a 9.5 hour video shoot that we did at a performing arts like theater here. Where they do plays and stuff like that here in downtown Lafayette. And it was a really cool experience. That was another one of those learning experiences where, that was our first time doing a legit video shoot. The majority of the time was spent setting up.
Oh.
A lot more time setting up than it was just shooting.
Anyway.
Well, I love your artwork on this.
You can adjust that one.
And also your logo is amazing.
Yeah, who came up with the VA? That's so cool. It looks like almost like a cattle skull type of thing.
Oh, the just a simple VW logo.
Sorry, VW. The VW. Yeah, who came up with that? That's so cool.
I'm not exactly sure on that one. It might have been Kyler Sharp.
Yeah,
it might have been Kyler Sharp. I'm not. That's a Ross question. It's one of those.
Okay.
But that's definitely one of my favorite. That and the Skull de Lis. It's a skull, but it's also a fleur de lis.
That's awesome.
I love it to death. That was actually something we came up with earlier on. We brainstormed about it, and we had somebody do it. I want to say Kyler did that. And we were like, oh, who wants to get this, blah, blah. I said, dude, I'll get this fucking thing tattooed on me. I don't give a shit. I love it. And our other guitar player at the time paid for it, and I got it done.
That's great.
I love it.
And you had it so handy. That was perfect. You're like, look, it's right here. I mean,
wow.
You couldn't have been more on the spot,
I've got it on my guitar picks as well that I use.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. That looks really amazing.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah.
And did Kyle do the artwork for the front album cover?
Steven Yoyada.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I love the trailing smoke and
the way
I had the idea for that. What if we do a blacksmith, the sword, the weapon is this album. The weapon is this whole thing, we're forging ahead and building this thing up.
Yeah, I get it. That's great. Perfect. Yeah.
What should we do our game?
And then on the back cover, I don't know if you've seen the back cover.
I haven't yet, no.
He's on the top of the mountain with the sword in the sky.
Yeah.
Just Oh, yeah. Hey, but it's really small. You gotta notice it.
I saw you got like 6 different vinyl splatters of it. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it
5
selling
different
good?
colors.
Is the vinyl moving pretty good?
Is there a color that
It
sells better?
is.
Yeah. Okay.
It is. I think we had sent a bunch to Cosmic Artifacts in Germany and Europe, and we've sold like 20 or so so far.
We're almost sold out of those.
Yeah, we're almost sold out. We sent 25 and sold 20. And I'm not sure, that was like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Something like that.
You all got to do like Metallica, just buy your own vinyl factory, and then you'll be set, right? Yeah.
Well, we pressed in New Orleans Record Press right down the road from us in New Orleans, and it was great to be able to just go pick them up instead of having them shipped because it costs so much to ship.
Oh, I know. It's insane. I know. Yeah.
To ship $4,000 worth of vinyl is not easy.
Oh God.
No, not post COVID, especially. No. Yeah.
No, and they gave us a tour of the facility and everything. It was it was amazing. It was amazing.
That's great.
Turnaround was only about a month or so, where
it wasn't long either.
Upwards of a year to get.
Yeah, we were quoted long time with other companies to get them back, and
that's really good because we don't hear that a lot. We hear a lot of the bands that we interview. They say our vinyl's on back order because there's such a backlog,
Or I'll buy the record in January, and they're like, "Yeah, we can mail it to you in March."
Yeah, because of the backlog.
Yeah,
the big sellers get first priority, like all the Adele and the Billie Eilish and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We need more record presses. We need more.
Yeah,
presses.
We do. Absolutely.
You guys have a big fan base in Europe. Is there any particular country?
It's growing.
Yeah. Is there any country in particular where you have like the most intense fans?
I'm not sure yet. I don't know if we got the numbers on that yet. I'd like to know that though. I definitely would. I remember when we did our first album and we put it out digitally, we were able to go see who was stealing our music digitally in other countries. And we're like, oh, this dude in Russia, man, it's downloaded.
Russia.
Like, we don't even care, dude. This is awesome. I think it's awesome to be able to have some recognition across the pond. That's somewhere we definitely would love to go at some point.
Yeah. Of all albums to steal, they stole ours. That's so great, right?
They like American heavy
Southern
music.
rock. Yeah,
they like Southern rock music. If you get a chance, there's a review this guy did. He was from Europe, and it was just a video of him with the headphones on, jamming it out and talking about it, and he was just going to town, so cool, man. And the way it was, yes, I love it. He's
somewhere there's a Russian gulag where Molly Hatchet is blaring somewhere, right?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, well, we have a game we play. Let's play our game.
All right, so we do this with every guest, and you guys are lucky enough we had to redo the questions because we thought they were getting stale, so you get a brand new set.
Yep.
Awesome.
I have 100 questions, so each of you are going to pick 3 numbers, so don't worry, you only have to answer 3 questions, and they're very random.
Between 1 and 100, 3.
Sometimes silly and very
3 numbers between 1 and 100, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
7. Pick one.
15.
69.
The popular one.
Pick 69 is hilarious.
42.
50.
1.
Okay. All right.
100.
Can we keep on picking numbers?
No, I said you got 3 apiece. 3 apiece is good. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, TJ, we'll start with you. Number 7. What is the make and model of your first car?
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
My first car. The first car I was able to actually drive and license to drive and
legally
and insure was a 1987 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme Brom that I bought for $350 with 89,000 miles on it.
Oh,
thank you.
It's a very detailed answer.
It was a boat, it was a slab, and it was a great old car.
I thought he was having problems remembering, and then he just told us everything about it.
Technically, the first vehicle I bought was a S10 Blazer, but I never drove it. I bought it for $100 and was never able to fix it. And
He's
that
like,
was gone.
the passenger door, you had to lift and jig a little bit to open it up, and the ashtray didn't really work. Yeah, so many details, Yeah. Tail signal on the right hand side didn't work out too well. I kept replacing the goddamn bulb. Yeah.
All right. Well, we may have covered this, but number 69. How many tattoos do you have?
Yeah.
How many do I have?
Yeah.
Let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10. Oh, 11.
There you go. I like the 666. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Destroyer 666, man.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
A friend of
I
mine in New
interviewed.
Orleans did that. She was a really cool person, and she got murdered, stabbed to death.
Oh,
Oh
jeez.
my
Yeah.
God.
R.I.P.
Yeah. When I was going through my divorce, my ex wanted to know about my tattoos, like what I had gotten. And I finally realized that she just thought some of them might be making fun of her.
Wow.
So I finally said, none of them are for you. And that was
Paranoid much. I
Yeah,
got an
exactly.
acid bath
I was like,
tattoo.
I wasn't thinking of you when I picked these. No. So.
Can they see that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah.
Acid Bath demo album from '93.
Wow.
Acid Bath, another awesome NOLA band. Yep.
The guy, I don't know if you ever heard of Sabbatic Feast.
No, I don't think I know that. What's the name of the band?
Sabbatic Feast.
Yeah. That's awesome.
They're from here in Lafayette, like one of the only death metal bands from the '90s that come out of Lafayette. Anyways, we know the guy who did original artwork for that Acid Bath album. This artwork that's on the leg, I paid $20 for this tattoo, and years later he's like, "Oh, I could have did that for you."
Well, Pagan Terrorism Tattoo says John Wayne Gacy, right?
Kite string.
Ah, yeah. No, kite string is John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, when the kite string pops.
Kite string.
All right, number 50. What is
Sorry, I
your
didn't mean to go off on a
usual-
tattoo tangent.
No, that's okay. We asked for it.
We do ourselves sometimes, quite often.
You got my tats, man.
Number 50. What is your usual breakfast?
Usual breakfast? Oh man. Well, right now I deliver for Domino's, obviously. So I'll grab something, when I usually fuel up in the morning, I'll grab something in Circle K or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I get those Danishes sometimes. It's terrible. Yeah. It's terrible. I try not to eat too many sweets or anything like that, but every once in a while, like maybe once a week, I'll get one of those with those roll up things, those buffalo chicken roller grill things.
Oh, yeah.
That's guilty pleasure right there.
That's what I crave, like after a couple beers, 10 o'clock at night. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah.
I'm tired of pizza, man.
I don't blame you. Yeah, you're surrounded by it. Yeah.
We went to Royal Farms. I think we were a little tipsy. We went in there to get some food, and somehow I ordered a large and a small dip with my sandwich, and he didn't say anything. He's like, "All right, I guess she wants a lot of dip."
Yeah, she ordered like a quart of cheese. Yeah.
That's weird that a large and a small, like you figured out exactly the right amount.
When she ordered it, when she hit both buttons, I was like, "Oh my, this is gonna be a fun night."
Yeah. He's like, after I ordered, he's like, "You got 2 dips." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, we were definitely drunk that night. Yeah.
All right, so moving over to the other side, Mr. Jace. Number 15. Are you a night owl or an early bird?
Definitely a night owl.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Are you a sleep in kind of guy? Like
very much so.
Okay.
It's even on the road.
Yeah, that's why I'm shaking my head. Yes, that dude was sleeping, man.
Yeah, I have to get up early, and I hate it. It is totally against everything in me.
She's a night owl, and I'm an early bird, but I'm not an obnoxious early bird. I'm okay.
You see him on stage though, and you realize why he needs all that rest.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
All right, number 42. Do you let people eat in your car?
Good question.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to think about it, but
yeah, for a second I was like,
Yes, it might depend on how much cheese sauce they got with.
Did they get the large and the small?
They have a quart of it. Yeah, I know.
I draw the line at just the large. You know, you're gonna have to.
I had to drive a guy at work from to the airport, and I knew he hadn't had a bite all day, and it was like 2 p.m, and he had his food with him, and he was just sitting there, and I said, "Dude, you can eat," and he goes, "I can eat in your car. That's wonderful." Yeah. He was being
some
so
people
polite.
are particular. If I had a brand new vehicle, I mean, adults, kids, no, you can't eat in my car. Hard French fries in the seats and shit. No, man.
Right, I know. Gummy bears down it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you don't need that. Yeah.
Chocolate melted for 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All right. Number 1 you picked. Have you ever binge watched a series? If so, which one?
Which one I did last is what I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The Golden Girls was the last.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
The last thing.
I don't think I've ever heard "fuck yeah" for the Golden Girls. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah. That is did you know there's another series called Golden Palace that came out after? That's actually what I last binged was Golden Palace. So it's them after selling the house, running a hotel with Cheech.
What?
Wow. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I do kind of remember.
I never saw that.
Yeah. Check it out.
Leave it to you to find some shit.
Yeah. We watch a lot of like horror stuff and Walking Dead type stuff. And there's some shows where it'll be like a Tuesday night at like 11:30 and we got to get up at 6:30 next morning. And I'm like, all right, one more.
And my first patient is at 7:45. Right. I'm like, oh, let's go.
And it ends up being 2 more and 3
Here comes the sun through the window.
Yeah. Like, Breaking Bad was like that. All right, one more. Yeah.
All right, so check this out. I think we need to get you guys out in the world. So I have come up with a great marketing plan for you. Okay. So I think we should put you on a big tour with someone who's older but established. I picked ZZ Top. Okay. So we'll put you out with them and Clutch and send you guys on tour. What do you think?
Okay.
My bag's packed already.
Yeah. Most people would say COC, but yeah, we're down with ZZ Top. We actually did a Dusty Hill tribute show concert here in Lafayette. Before we got the wheels rolling on this album and stuff.
It was our first show. It was my first show with him and with Wade. Wade had just joined.
With Wade, and my first show playing guitar with the band and everything, and we learned a bunch of ZZ Top tracks and did them Vermilion Whiskey style.
That's great.
It was cool. There's footage of that online somewhere if you want to go find it.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bass player now is, I think, Dusty's roadie, and they had his full permission to replace him. It's really
kicking
well
ass.
done. Yeah, really
That's
awesome.
what I've heard. Yeah, they're kicking ass.
Yeah.
I love ZZ Top.
That was my first rock concert. My first concert altogether was ZZ Top.
Honored to tour with
like what album was it? What album do
you? Whichever one had Pincushion on it, and I can, because I remember that being the video that was out at the time.
Oh, is that Recycler?
Right? I think so.
I saw them on Recycler tour, and they had the whole like junkyard on stage where they would go into the trash compactor, and then it pulled out dummies that looked like them and took them across and dropped them. It was incredible. I mean, just that. Oh, and it was also the year that the Black Crowes opened for them and like trash talked them and got kicked off. It was the weirdest thing. Like who does that? Who does that to your, the band that takes you on the road? I don't know.
I saw them with Jackal, and for the last song, the singer mooned the stage and ran across, and he got arrested for doing that.
Nice.
But Jackal and ZZ Top.
Jackal and ZZ Top. That's a good night. Yeah.
Rode a mechanical bull, played the chainsaw, and
Yeah, I was thinking because we interviewed Thunder Mother and they had come out they're from Sweden, but they came to the United States with the Scorpions. So I was like, who would I put you with? And then it just came to me in a dream.
Yeah, it's great.
All right, so I love your tour poster, and that was a Kyler Sharp with all the eyeballs on it. I work for an eye doctor.
Oh, nice.
How did that concept come into being? I love it.
That was actually a poster that it's funny you say that. I was actually a poster that was meant to be for Clutch, I believe.
It was for Mastodon.
No, Mastodon.
Mastodon, okay, yeah.
It was something that he did for Mastodon, but then he had something else that he made that he thought was a better idea for him. So he had it laying around kind of and offered it to us. And we looked at it and we're like, yeah, man, this is cool, you know.
Really cool. Yeah.
Eyeballs and
Yeah, can't beat that. Yeah.
Can I ask a personal question about optometry?
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
Does it feel cultish?
Well,
With all the eyeball stuff, it just it always just kind of felt
like yeah,
maybe that's why, because it's
yeah,
I don't know, they creep me out.
Yeah, there's a lot of eyeballs. There's a lot of weirdnesses out there. Older people will tell you they have quote unquote trash in their eye, and it's only I don't. They mean, they feel like they have a foreign body sensation. But I'm like, I don't think you have trash in your eye, ma'am. And we do a lot of dry eye patients, and there you can look it up online. Dry eye and crazy go hand in hand, and they are just out there.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I feel like she works at an insane asylum. I really do. When she tells me the stories about what the people say and do, crazy. Yeah.
All right, Doctor's cool. He's a local musician.
Oh,
he's a really cool cat. Our guitar player Ross turned me on to him. He hooked us up because I needed to get contacts. I can't wear glasses on stage, and I can't see without contacts. So
right.
He got us hooked up. He's a really cool guy too, man.
That's cool.
Good guitar player.
That's cool.
So what do you guys have planned? Please tell me. We're gonna get you, like, we're in Baltimore. Love to see you.
Yeah, it'd be great if you're coming up to East.
Oh, that'd be great to come up there. I'm not sure what's in the immediate future. We definitely got some more shows to play. We're heading down to New Orleans, Baton Rouge. We're going back to Texas. And I'm sure Ross has a bunch of other things planned that he probably hasn't even mentioned to us yet. We're just hammering down that PR campaign real hard and just promoting the album, touring the album as best we can. He works offshore, so whenever he comes in, we're on the road trying to play some shows and as much as we can and get it out there.
I know what I'm to ask you. Who are Rickshaw Billy's Burger Patrol?
Oh man,
that's funny that you mentioned them because I was thinking about them today.
Really?
I saw that Facebook post and I was like, I got to ask about these guys.
Oh,
do yourself a favor and listen to Rickshaw Billy's Burger Patrol. They're an awesome band from Austin, Texas.
Is it like Southern rock or what is it? I mean, is it stoner rock?
It's like it's hard to describe. Man, it's just. I almost feel like I'm listening to Les Claypool for the vocal delivery sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's got that weirdness.
Okay, and it's
meets White Stripes. Oh, and just there's so many different things going on. Dude's got a 7-string guitar, 7 or 8-string guitar, and it's just between him and the bass, and it's just gnarly ass sounding good, greasy. Like their whole thing is like they got an album called Grease Beast or whatever. It's this big gnarly burger with this Frankenstein man. It's just, and that's the sound. And they're really cool guys. We're good friends with them.
I will definitely check them out.
Yeah. And they jam out.
They have a really big following here too.
It's a party when they play here. Every time they have a really good time. Hooks. I'm talking hooks. More hooks than a fucking fishing boat. Like just
hooks and pockets and just
man, they jam, dude. And it's a really cool band. It's a privilege to play with them every time.
The last car I had a tape deck in it, and I would buy their tapes when they would come to town, and that's all I had to listen to in the car. So I like for good almost 2 years. It was anytime I was driving around town.
Oh yeah,
rocking
the song "Gravedigger" probably is my favorite one. Gravedigger. Yeah, dude, it's just.
Yeah, we're always looking for new, weird, and outsider music. Absolutely.
Oh, they sound as delicious as the name, or they.
Definitely.
Yeah, I saw Primus at Lollapalooza. When they came around, and I was on so many chemicals that the next day I thought they had things on stage that they didn't. My friends were all like, "They didn't have anything on stage, you idiot!" And I'm like, "They had like Grateful Dead bears right now." They didn't.
You got to check out a band called Cheater Pipe.
Okay.
They're from here. Good friends of ours. We played so many shows with these guys, and it's like if we could take a band on the road with us. If we had like somebody gave us a ton of money and a tour bus and said, You can take one local band with you. Yeah, all right, Cheater Pipes come with us. Like that's our homies, and they're great.
And even like music aside, the stage showmanship of the front man is just he's my favorite guy to watch between songs.
Creosote Jones.
Man, he just
right.
Dr. Dick on the drums.
Yeah, we're writing all
and
this down.
Low C on the Low C on the 4-string dang-a-lang, dang-a-lang, dang-a-lang. Yeah, man.
He actually has a longboard that he converted into a guitar too.
Yeah, 1-string guitar, and he plays fucking Sweet Leaf on it, dude, with a slide. This shit's crazy.
One string guitar,
yeah, dude.
playing Sweet Leaf.
Yeah, dude. It's cool. It's cool. He made it himself. I
think he doesn't skateboard, but his guitar
not anymore. They're one of my favorite bands to listen to on a Sunday morning when I'm driving in the country going fishing.
Yeah,
and just want to rock out.
Awesome. Yeah, we will check that out.
So I had one additional question. What in the world is involved in a crawfish boil, like the one you did for when the album came out? I'm like, what does that entail?
Okay, more often than not, you get a few sacks of crawfish. It's usually a family gathering or any kind of gathering you want to do. There's crawfish season.
So they're seasonal, so you can't have them.
Can't have them year round. It's seasonal.
Yeah.
So during crawfish season, you get. I mean, there's so many places here where you can go and get them. You know, pre-boiled or whatever. Any like you would get boiled seafood anywhere else. But traditionally, you get a few sacks of crawfish, and you have a big pot, and a lot of seasoning goes in this water, and you boil them up. You pour them out on the table. Potatoes, corn, fucking mushrooms, carrots, sausage, all kind of different, whatever you want to put in there. And you eat them. You pinch, you pull the tail, you suck the head, you pull the meat out of the tail and eat it. And that's a tradition since we were fetuses.
That's great. Yeah, we do it at Baltimore. We do blue crab, same thing. Yeah. We
like a lot of blue crabs here. We got them blue point crabs down here.
Yeah.
And it goes hand in hand with the crawfish, pretty much. That and shrimp.
Yeah, same thing. And it's you pick them and you watch like baseball game and drink beer or whatever. Yeah, it's great.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what we do. We drink beer and watch the Saints and eat crawfish, boil crawfish and eat crabs and we go crabbing. We get a bunch of string and some beef melt or some chicken legs.
Yeah, chicken legs.
And throw them out there and pull them up and catch them with the net and catch a whole ice chest full and bring them home and boil them.
Yeah, I think that's a Maryland, Louisiana connection right there. Is the
we found one. We found a connection, man.
Yeah,
we can't agree on the Ravens. I'm sorry, we can't agree on the Ravens, but we can agree on crabs.
Well, you guys are NFC, so it's okay. You know.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
You're NFC, so it's okay. Yeah.
Well, when we come see you, I guess we'll have to bring some Old Bay, huh?
Yeah, we'll bring some of our spices with us. Yeah.
You won't need it. We got plenty seasoning down here.
Okay.
I get scarred for life. We went to Myrtle and they have all these Calabash seafood houses and like nothing had seasoning on it. I'm like, this is horrible.
If there's one thing you're gonna get when you're down here, it's fucking seasoning.
That's great.
Definitely. Great. There's a lot of flavor. I actually bought some Old Bay hot sauce a while back.
Yeah, it's good. I really like it.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I do like Old Bay. I do like Old Bay on stuff, seafood. But
during the pandemic, Old Bay had a problem, and like you could, well, at least around here, you couldn't get any of it. You couldn't get the hot sauce. You couldn't get the powder.
What?
And I thought there were going to be riots. I really did. It was a supply chain issue.
If we ran out of Tony Sachery's down here, shit would get crazy.
Yeah,
I'm serious. It would get crazy.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. We don't need water, but we got to have Old Bay. I mean, come on. Yeah. All right. Well, this was great, you guys. I hope you had fun. We had a great time.
I see big things for you guys. I think, maybe this time next year we'll be playing Whackin' Open Air Fest for See Ya people.
Hell yeah.
This is the Snaggletooth Rock and Roll Podcast.